Hey, how's it going? Okay. I said I was going to come on live a lot earlier, but um I went to a cafe and I had a really nice time there working with my daughter, and she left and I was going to go out with my friend and then we didn't go out. So I ended up waiting there for a ride and blah blah blah. But I made it. I'm back. And I'm going to take this beautiful death apart because this is unacceptable. Look at that. Limp D. I wasn't going to say the word. I might get in trouble. So this is going to come down like that. And kind of want to angle this differently. How can I do this? There we go. Okay. So the reason why I'm taking it apart is there's a couple of reasons. I made a video, a short or reel, wherever you are. And on Halloween, I went to my sister's. Either me or her always throw a party. And we both throw like epic Halloween parties. We were always called the Queens of Halloween. And as soon as I got there, the head fell off. I was like, no, how can this happen? No, I can't handle this. But anyway, ingenuity, my sister's ingenious little mind there said, I got wire and we can take it apart. We can put it together. I mean, we can hold it together just so that it will be good for tonight. But I have it wired so that this mouth can move. And so it's kind of like going to be puppet. So this is the spokesperson for my comic. And I love it. I don't know any other artists out there. I don't know if you're artists or not, but I don't know. Does anyone else fall in love with their creations like I do? Sometimes I think of God, the creator, consciousness, infinite consciousness, whatever you call it, the universe. I think that's what happened. God created us and then fell in love with us. And just loves watching us. And I mean, actually, I have met the creator. I had a direct experience with infinity years ago, and it's just infinite love and light, infinite consciousness. Look at the pieces all falling apart. It's so sad. It's terrible. I was so disappointed. But you got to go with the flow. You know what I mean? How many times things don't go your way? And I'm going to get in a little closer here. Can I? There we go. Hi, people. So many people joining. I love it. Hi, Cassandra. Death never looked so good. Yep. I mean, it's like I'm killing it all over again, but poor baby. My poor baby. That's okay. This is the thing, in life. And I love this saying. I don't know who came up with this saying, but it's like the best saying ever. Make plans, God laughs. That is the truth, is it not? Make plans, God laughs. Man. Yep. So I'm going to be working on this until Christmas. My goal is to have this done before the end of the year. This has to be done before the end of the year. You know, I've been wanting to do this comic for 25 years. Maybe a little less than that, but man, obstacles. And I guess this is the theme for tonight, obstacles, because Death's head fell off Halloween night, just when I was going to present him to the world. Nope. Obstacles. Yep. I had so many obstacles. 25 years ago, I was on a roll. I was writing every day. I was creating every day. And then, just like that, my marriage fell apart. It wasn't just like that. It was falling apart forever. And anyway, we separated, and then my poor baby daddy husband died. But we get along so much better now. Honest to God. We made a pact when I need a pair of scissors. We made a pact that if one of us went before the other, we would get together, and the one on the afterlife would get together with me in this life, or vice versa, and we would tell each other what it's like on the other side. And he did. Poor guy. He went first. But he told me he could do much more for me on that side than he could here. So there's a reason for everything, you know. He came back and he has talked to me so many times. And you know what? Like, I literally asked him to prove it. One time, this is the most amazing time that he proved it. I was working on my favorite thing at Christmas is my nativity scene. I was raised Christian, but I'm not Christian. I believe in all religions. Any path to God is a good path in my mind. So anyway, I was working on that, and I was making this big, beautiful, like my desk had this shelf and it is L shape. And so I was creating this big extra scene like Bethlehem. I wanted to make all the buildings and stuff like that. And there's this big space kind of underneath. And I was saying, what am I going to put under here? Like maybe like have kind of like, I don't know, not storage, but like, you know, like a cold room or something they would have had back in those days. And so I don't know why, but like Julio totally popped into my head. And every time an ancestor or somebody that you knew from life who has passed on pops in your head, like it's them. It's usually them. You have to kind of listen, not kind of, you have to listen to that voice. And so I said to him, I was like, Julio, is that you? And I heard him say yes. And I was like, I'm a skeptic, you know, like I'm not one of those people that believes everything blindly. And so I was like, you know what? Like, is that you, Julio? Or is it my imagination? And I heard him say yes. And then I was like, okay, if it's yes, I was listening to music. I was listening to a playlist, one of my playlists. And I said, if it's you, I want you to play 3 songs, because spirits communicate to us through the radio, television, imagery. Like they're outside time and space, so they can connect to our reality in a very different way than we can connect. Oh man, I put so much glue on this. How am I going to get this freaking thing off? I need a chisel. Oh dear. So anyway, I said, play me 3 songs. Now, first of all, if you played 3 songs on my playlist, I mean, that's not on my playlist. That's kind of proves it. You know what I mean? And just a little reconstructive surgery. Yeah, totally. Totally. Death is being reborn. I'm killing it, and it's going to be rebirthed. It's like every moment of our life is that. So yeah, so anyway, the first song that comes on, undoubtedly his music. He loved what's the name? Oh shit. What the hell's the name of the music? I'm not a multitasker. Van Halen. Jump. And the funny thing about it is I'm not a big fan of Van Halen. Like, I love classic rock and all, but the reason why I don't like Van Halen is whenever we had an argument, he would go downstairs and he would play Van Halen full blast. And that's what made me not like Van Halen, because it reminded me of every time we had an argument. So anyway, that came on and I was like, holy shit, okay, that's pretty Julio. So I thought, okay, we'll see. 3 songs. I said 3 songs, 3 songs in a row. Well, the next song, oh my goodness, wasn't even a song. It wasn't like something that was on the radio or whatever. It was, so the The Fifth Element, and the chick that says like multipass. She lands in Bruce Willis's taxi cab and she keeps saying multipass. That was Julio's favorite saying, and it was literally a keyboard, and multipass was, he put multipass in, and it was like multipass, and it was playing some song, and it was a whole like song. I was like, no way, like that's uncanny, like that. How could that even possibly be? I was like, that is so cool. So then the next song, so while that song is playing, I'm thinking to myself, well, okay, the third song, wow. If he plays the third song, I know I'm talking to him. And then I started kind of feeling lonely and kind of feeling like, I felt sad about us splitting up, and I felt sad about how things went at the end. And I was kind of like, yeah, kind of that kind of forlornish kind of vibe. And I was like, man, I hadn't been with anybody for a while. Celibate, single, just committing to my spirituality and my comic and helping people, and thinking, like, am I better off alone? Is it something that I should be like? Should I be alone? And the next song, oh my god, I don't know if y'all seen Sax Squatch. It's a guy playing the saxophone, but he's in a Sasquatch costume. And Julio used to call himself Sasquatch because he lost all his hair on his head and it grew on his body. And he used to call himself Sasquatch. And not just that, but like, we met military people during the Disclosure Project. He was a bodyguard for Stephen Greer at a Disclosure Project here in Toronto and U of T. And when he was, when Stephen Greer was like addressing with his 400 military and government officials, I got to sit beside this general, and he told me all about the files they have on Bigfoot and Sasquatch. And I couldn't believe it. It was like, wow, that is Julio. And so it's interesting because that whole alien thing, Julio gave me the freaking amazing idea to put a whole alien thing underneath the nativity scene. So I did. I made a UFO. I'll get some footage because I filmed a lot of it, and I'll clip it in there, or make a short, or I'll do like a video on it for Christmas this year, so y'all can see it. Yep. So there is an afterlife. He actually he showed me a lot of things, and I'm able to speak to people after life. So death is an illusion. I know, yes, the end of our actual avatars here end, so that's not an illusion. We do actually die. Our bodies die, but our souls don't die. We are eternal. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. I poured a whole bunch of glue in it, and it is not coming out. I don't know how to get this guy off. Come on. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, I got it. Look at, I'll show you. See all that? That's all like glue. See my little vertebrae? All right. One vertebrae down. All this glue. Oh, well, I kept the head on for Halloween night. Okay, I'm going to put this in a tray or something. What did I do with my tray? Whatever. I don't have my tray here. So, look at the pieces of the neck all fell apart. Oh, poor baby. That's okay. We've all had to be deconstructed and reconstructed, death, died, and reborn. Man, I feel like all of life is kind of like that. It's a series of deaths and rebirths. I feel like every moment is a death and a rebirth. Look how cool that looks. Hello. Yep. Okay, we're gonna take that apart, but let's take apart the rest of this first. This head over here. Okay. Yeah, one other thing I made a mistake too, was at the bottom I put one too many vertebrae, and I was supposed to have one extra vertebrae at the top. So I get an extra long spine and an extra short neck, which does not work. So okay. So I have to get some kind of epoxy or something like that to fix the neck. So I'm going to have to order that. I'm not going to be able to do anything on, like, put it back together again until I fix that neck. If anybody has any suggestions to, I used this amazing epoxy years ago. It was called, I don't know what it's called, but it was for airplane wings, like when they fix the airplane and stuff like that. So it's super lightweight, and it dries really fast, and it's super hard, man. Like super, super, super great stuff. I loved it. I made this really cute little piggy doll. Oh, there's two people. I got Cass money, and who else is watching? Doesn't show. I guess they're private or something, but hello. And up here, 225 people. Hi. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. It's fun. So fun. I love it. I don't have the proper tools. I need better tools. I mean, I have them. I just don't have them with me. I should have pulled them out of my thing before I did all this. Yep. Life is a series of deaths and rebirths. I mean, every single moment is a death and a rebirth. One moment ends, another one begins. My first death I experienced when I was conceived. And I know most people would be like, oh, yeah, that didn't happen. But I honestly do remember. I remember being before I came here. And I remember being asked if I was ready because it wasn't going to be easy. And I said, yeah, I'm ready. Well, I wasn't ready. I really was not ready. I didn't know what I was talking about. Maybe from the spirit side. Yeah, maybe from the spirit side seemed like it wouldn't be that hard. But man, when you get into the physical body, it is not easy. Hey, Frankenstein. Oh, you're playing Frankenstein. Oh, I thought it was another person. I am totally playing Frankenstein. Oh, yeah. The two people on YouTube is Cassandra, my best friend, and well, I have a handful of best friends, but Cassandra is my like love of my life go-to friend that I has been there through all my trauma healing and such a beautiful soul. I love you so much, Cass. Oh, there's someone else there too. Hi, Debbie. It's Brenda. Hi, Brenda, my beautiful cousin. I love you. Thank you for joining. I'm taking apart death and I'm reconstructing death because I went to a Halloween party and it completely, his head fell apart, his whole neck crumbled and fell apart. So yeah. So I have to take it apart. I also put one too many vertebrae on. Maybe I could leave this one on here. Yeah, I think I could leave that on there. Could leave the legs on. No, I'm going to rewire the legs, so I'm going to take this apart. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I feel like this is a complete reflection of life. Death has been that way. The very moment I started working on this, I mean, like when you become a magical alchemist and powerful lucid dreamer, I gotta be careful of what I say. I gotta be careful of what I do because everything becomes magical and manifesting is like you say one thing and it manifests just like that. And so this has been this alchemical magical unfoldment. I don't know what to call it, but it has honestly been crazy. I started making this death and I started having this complete death of the self. Like here you are and here's where you want to be. So here I was when I started making death, and to get to here, yeah, I had to all these pieces of me had to die along the way in order to get to here. So holy crap, man. The death of myself. I died a million times in the last 2 years. I started this 2 years ago. And then yes, Cassandra's my platonic life partner. That's right. Yep. Holy. My house. I don't want to say I lost my house, but the house that I have was promised to by the owner for years. I imagined myself there forever and renovating it and recreating it. And he passed away. So there was a death. And that was a massive death. It was terrible. And then the house was sold. And that was it. And that was the end of that dream. So the death of my old self, death of my house, my daughter's little doggy died, who was the love of my life. But with every death there's transformation, and like my other daughter got a puppy about a year before that poor little baby Mila died. And so now she's the love of my life. Oh, I love animals. I love doggies. They're so cute. So, like I say, with everything that ends, something new begins. One door closes, another door opens. And man, it's not easy going through those doors, though. Let me tell you, hey, like, I know y'all can relate. It's ridiculous, isn't it? When you are going through massive life change. And it's crazy because like my whole heart was set on that house. And then when it was gone, like now it's been a few months, like I left there at the end of April. No, I guess middle of May. And oh my God, like there's so many reasons why I know that ended now that I couldn't see at the time. Like I knew it would be better in my soul, but I was so attached. And I totally, I was divinely removed from that place. There's also a ghost in that house that I was intertwined with. Y'all want to hear a ghost story? Yeah, right, Cass? With grief in the mix is so intense. Like the grief I went through, the grief was intense, man. So, okay, so I'm going to tell you a ghost story. So I've been in trauma therapy for a decade. I had lots of trauma. But I've been doing great. And I was actually doing really great until the house was going up for sale. And then I was so grief stricken. It was beyond comprehensive. I don't know what the word is. But so here we go. Pelvis. Look at that. Do you love it? I'm going to show you the face up close too. So anyway, I said to my doctor, I was like, you know what? I feel like this grief is just too much. Like it doesn't make sense. Like everybody moves. Everybody has to move sometimes in their life. Why am I feeling this immense amount of grief? Like, it's just too much. Too much grief. Logically did not make any sense to me. So, what we're doing and what we've been doing for the last couple of years or more is family integration systems therapy. It's amazing. Like you go and you meet different parts of yourself, you know. I'm sure every one of you have said, you know, there's part of me that likes this and there's part of me that doesn't, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so those parts, you go and meet these parts. And so we went and I wanted to meet the part that was feeling so much grief. So when I tapped into that, it's easy for me to tap into it because I have developed my dreaming body like immensely. So I just shut my eyes and I'm able to tap in all sorts of different realms and stuff like that. So I said, yeah, I want to go and meet this part of myself that is the grief-stricken one. So I go and meet the grief, and what I saw the house, the ghost that lives in my house. Now, I never thought I would ever meet the ghost in one of my therapy sessions, like ever, because I didn't even think about it. I got so used to that ghost living there. I lived in that house for 17 years. In the very beginning, when we lived in that house, it was pretty angry. We were constantly hearing walking upstairs. Lights would go on and off. Cupboard doors would be all open in the kitchen when we went in the kitchen. My computer would turn on in the middle of the night. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, the lights would be on. And my poor daughter in her one room in the closet, she would hear banging, like really loud banging. And it was so scary to them that she wouldn't even say anything. My other daughter just knew that when she came into the room and she came into her bed, it meant that that ghost was banging in the closet. And so she would just go and sleep with my other daughter. And so my daughters weren't young. Akita was 16 and Shalyn was 13 when we moved into that house. So anyway, some of the craziest shit happened. One time we heard this loud bang upstairs, and it literally looked like it took my daughter's smoothie and sprayed it over the entire room. And what was really crazy was that it wasn't just sprayed over the room, but it was like underneath things. Like it was bizarre, man. So one time we were watching a movie and I heard this trickling water. And I was like, do you guys hear trickling water? And they were like, no. And I was like, are you sure? Like, I'm really hearing trickling water. So I got up and I was like, okay, I'm doing laundry. So it's just laundry. So then I was like, like 10 minutes later or whatever, I was like, definitely heard trickling water. I was like, no, there's definitely trickling water. I'm hearing something like pouring and hitting water on water. So I got up again. And this time I walked right into the bathroom to see if there was something leaking in the bathroom. I should have done that the first time. But I just assumed it was the... maybe I should leave this on. I'm having a really hard time taking it off. No, I want to take it off. Tied a knot really hard on this thing, man. So anyway, the taps were on full blast and the water filled up the sink and the water was overflowing in the sink, just like you see in the movies, man. So I shut off the water. And at that point, I was mad. I was like, okay. Like, I know you're here. I'm fine with you here. You were here first. I get it. But we live here too. And like, we could live here in harmony and, like, give me a break, man. I mean, I don't mind you turning lights on and off, whatever, but like this is crappy because I got to clean this up now. And because I got so upset with it, it stopped. There was a lot of inactivity for a long time. Sometimes my computer would go on in the middle of the night or the lights would come on and off, whatever. But that pretty much was it. So kind of was happy that I got mad at it. I thought maybe I should have done that earlier, but whatever. So anyway, years went by and I often would, the most that would happen was I would walk through a cold body, like of air. I'd feel it in the room. Often if I had the music too loud at night, I felt like it didn't like it. And so I would lower the music. Yeah, there was just certain things about, like certain things it didn't like. Didn't like loud music. And so anyway, fast forward. I find out the house is being sold. All the activity came back. All of the like upsetness. I would hear things like this. Like, and I would look and out in the middle of the table, there'd be like things that I had at the corner of the table. There was 3 mornings in a row where I had a little cluster of plants in the corner of the table, and one would be sitting out in the middle of the table. Like that spirit was very unhappy that house was sold. And I really felt its presence, and I remember like talking to it and apologizing and saying it was out of my hands and I didn't know what to do. And so anyway, now I'm in this therapy session, and the grief I felt was the house and the spirit. Oh my God, I finally got the knot undone. Huh. Wow. And there's more knots. That's not the only one. Oh. It was. Oh, yay. Woohoo. Okay. Now for the other one. Okay, one arm. I'm going to bedazzle this arm. I'm going to rewire it so that the fingers aren't all like floppy like that. Yeah, so when I tapped into the house and the ghosts and the grief, what I saw was that I was enmeshed with that spirit. That spirit actually latched onto me, like it loved me so much that it kind of merged with me and the house. So it was like this triad, and I could feel the grief of that spirit. And so with my doctor's guidance, we had a conversation with it, and I found out all sorts of stuff. So where I lived was across from the old jailhouse. It was turned into the town hall, and there was this courtyard where people got hung. Now, supposedly only 2 people got hung there, and I'm like, seriously? Yeah, 2 recorded people. But you know how it was back in the 1700s. Like, there's a lot of 1800s, maybe. I don't know when that building was built. 1700s, 1800s. Anyway, he said that he was hung for treason in that courtyard, and he wasn't. It's not true. Like, he wasn't a traitor. He said that it was a false accusation, and he was killed. Like, it wasn't his fault. Like, he was framed or something. Like, and so that house was built in 1870. His spirit was kind of roaming around, and then ended up in my house. And so I was the first person that actually had compassion and acceptance and like was okay with him. And it's interesting because my landlord, the original guy that had promised me the house, promised he would never sell it and it was going to be my house, said that no one lived in that house for more than a year. He rented it to quite a few people, and they would all leave within a year. And that's why. It was because of this spirit. The spirit was not happy whenever anyone went into the house, until I moved in, and then it found some kind of peace. So, holy man, I wired this up pretty good. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just cut these. Yeah. So anyway, I had a ghost that was in love with me. Isn't that cute? It wasn't cute. I guess it was cute. It was cute parts to it. So anyway, I helped it cross over with the help of my doctor. I called in all the angels and spirits and ancestors, and I asked them to help me see a path forward for him. And this is the most magical part. I saw hundreds of Aboriginals that lived on the land before anything was built there. And it was like they were all golden, and there was like this golden path. And they took him by the hands and they walked him down this golden path. And that's it. My grief was lifted. I felt unmeshed with the house. And that was it. I was free. And so that was it. I moved out 2 weeks later. And that was the end of that. So that's my ghost story. It's a pretty good ghost story, yeah? What do you think of that? I have all sorts of people joining, but like, speak to me. 226 likes. Wow, that's cool. How many people? Does it show somewhere on there how many people are in my group? I don't know how to gauge that or see that. On YouTube, it shows at the top there. There's 3 people. Oh, hi. Whoever is the third person, I don't know. I know Cass is here, Brenda's here. And a secret person. Hello, secret person. And then up there, 226 likes. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Okay. We got this apart. We've got this apart. Okay. I glued these ribbons on, but I think I'm going to pull them off. Oh, shit. That's not good. Totally destroyed the paint job. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave those on because I know what finger goes to what. So, all right. One hand done. Okay. This arm goes with that. These 2 go with that. Keep it organized. And then we'll take apart this one. I think that was the easiest thing to do is to just cut it. I need wire cutters. I'm going to destroy my scissors. Okay. Yeah, so what I was originally talking about, and then I got onto the ghost story, was how as soon as I started working on death, all sorts of deaths happened. So that ghost story was like the end of the story. Like the end of the death of that whole thing. And I helped that guy cross over. So even though he died, he was continuing, and I had to help him continue dying, basically, so that he made it to the other side. I'm just so fascinated by that. I'm going to actually try to tap into him. Maybe he's going to be like a guide. I have lots of guides who are ancestors, and I have a griffin familiar. I have a dragon named Blue. Angels. It sounds like a fantasy, but it is. Life is a magical fantasy. Okay. Okay, this is a process. I'm so disappointed with these toes. Look at that. That one toe. Oh, thanks, Brenda. It's a good story, right? I know. That's definitely going to be in my comic book, that whole story. And I had a hard time telling it because I'm not a multitasker. So I'm going to have to learn how to tell stories and work at the same time without so many pauses. I don't know. Maybe was I pausing a lot? I feel like I was doing a lot. Maybe not. Shit, man. I need my tools, but guess where my tools are? underneath my laptop that's filming. Yeah, I didn't think it through very much. Okay. Ta-da. Okay, I'm going to take that apart after because I want to make sure I got the toes right. Oh my goodness. Boy, good tools make the job so much easier. When I use my teeth, I fucking ruin my teeth. Oh my goodness. Any other stories you guys want to hear? I have so many of them. Ghost stories. Oh, my grandmother told me a really cool. Both of my grandmothers told me really well. The one my grandmother didn't tell me. My mother told me that her mother told her. And I think it was her grandmother actually that told her this story. But they lived in New Brunswick and Petit Rocher, a little tiny town, and her grandmother said, I don't know if it was a great grandmother talking to grandmother or great grandmother talking to great grandmother or whatever, but she said, you have to be home before 12 o'clock, midnight. It's Friday night, it's a full moon, and at midnight, the devil will show up at the crossroad and you could sell your soul to the devil. And so she believed her and tried to make it home, but they were a little late and they ended up being at the crossroads right at midnight. And she said the horses went mad wild. They were a horse and buggy and freaking out because in the field right at that crossroads was a big black wolf, but the body was like 50 feet long and had red fiery eyes, and it was circling the field. And holy, this is not coming out. Why is this not coming out? I don't understand. And so, of course, they were able to control the horses to the point of getting the heck out of there. And they got the heck out of there. But she said, if you have any doubt that there's some kind of demonic force in the world, you got another thing coming, because that's how they trick you, by not being really visual. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna forget about that one for now. And my other grandmother, oh my gosh, she told a really cool story. So this is my grandmother on my father's side, Nunna. I called her Nunna. She said that when she was a little girl, she said she was in school. She looked out the window in Malta. My grandparents on my dad's side are Maltese. She said she looked out the window and there was a man dressed in 1700s type clothing. And she would get in trouble for looking out the window. And oh no, that wire. Oh, good. It came out. I thought I screwed it up. So she would look out the window and the teacher would be like, what are you looking at? And she said, well, there's a man out there. He's dressed in like 1700s clothing and he's how old is he? This is my other deaf. Okay, so anyway, she said there's a man out there with 1700s clothing on, and the teacher said, no, there's not. And she kept on seeing him every day. And until one day she went outside, and then he was he followed her home from school. And so she was kind of scared of him or whatever. But anyway, he followed her home from school almost every day. And then one day he stops in front of her and he won't let her go by. And he says to her, he says, "You have to bring me a bag of potatoes." And she was like, "Bag of potatoes? Like, I'm going to bring you a bag of potatoes." And he said, "If you don't bring me a bag of potatoes, I'm going to hurt you." And so she was like, "Oh, God." So she brought him a bag of potatoes, and he had told her to leave it by this tree, told her exact spot and whatnot. And so she left it there. She went to school. When she came back, there was coins, 1700s gold coins. And so anyway, this went on for quite some time. And then one day he followed her all the way home and was in her house. And she was kind of mouthy and she told him to fuck off or shut up or something like that. I can't remember what she said. And he actually pushed her down the stairs and she really hurt her ankle. And he said, "I can do more than that if you don't listen to me." And so anyway, she graduated. She was scared of him and she did what she was told. Anyway, I saw these gold bullion or whatever they're called. I saw these gold coins when I was a kid. And this is why she told me the story, because she said this is where these coins came from. And so anyway, she grew up and graduated school and she moved to Canada. So she never saw him again. Anyway, years later, she went back to Malta and went back to the school to visit the school. And the whole section of the school in the basement was closed off. And she asked why. And they said, well, a whole bunch of kids kept saying they saw this man dressed in 1700 clothing, and he went into the basement. But when they went down to the basement, instead of a man, they would see a Black Panther. And it terrified everybody. And they had to close off that whole section of the school because of this ghost or whatever. So anyway, I love that these stories came up when I was dismantling death, because there is an afterlife and it's a pretty cool one. So anyway, I love you all. I think that's it. I finished dismantling this beautiful death. And next time, probably tomorrow, I will do some more work on it and I'll be back on here. So I love you all. Thank you for joining me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Love you.